If you still don't have a will, think again. Our guest says not having a will not only creates an added burden for your loved ones, but it means your family might not have control over where your money and assets are distributed. In some cases, they might go to people who you wouldn't want to see getting a big windfall, certainly immediately. We're joined by Julie Seberras, Head of Wealth Planning at Manulife. Great to see you again.
Thanks,
we
Andy.
touched on this last week, but remind us what are the problems you create if you die without a will?
Yeah, so this is what we call dying intestate, and that means you have died without a will. So first and foremost, this puts a large burden on your loved ones, especially at a time when they're going through some difficult times, when they really want to just focus on grieving the loss of a loved one. This can also, cause a lot of additional expenses. So this can be in the way of legal fees that you might have to incur to go through the process. And this can be very time-consuming as well. It may take months before your loved ones are able to start to get control of the assets and start to manage the estate. Now, we know, of course, Andy, the cautionary tale of the person who has not written the will that might end up in this situation. But what you might also get in this category are people who have written a will, but it's invalid for some reason. So this could be that it wasn't properly signed, or it wasn't properly witnessed, or there might have been some event that revoked that will, such as marriage, which we'll talk about a little bit more next week. So it's not just writing that will, it's making sure that it's up to date, because if it's found to be invalid, it might fall into the same category as not having one at all.
I got to admit, I went to a lawyer. My affairs are not complicated. I don't have companies in the Seychelles or anything. But I was just wary about things like that. Like, this, is it signed? Is it witnessed properly? But you can do it online with a do-it-yourself will.
Absolutely. And I would recommend that these are for straightforward situations. Make sure that you're following the instructions and making sure that you that it is valid, of course, in the province that you reside. And of course, if you have any complexities whatsoever, then this is where you want to get a lawyer who is skilled in this area to make sure that they walk you through this process and it covers off your intentions and your wishes, because this is one area where we do get unintended consequences.
I'm thinking a lot of people, of course, are on their second marriage. They might even have two sets of kids. I'm guessing that you should maybe consult a lawyer in those cases.
Absolutely. Blended families, business owners, this is where you want to get this sort of bespoke advice for your situation. And so when you're writing that will, it's really important. There's a lot of categories that you're going to be able to get a say in how things are going to happen. So this includes being able to name your executor. This is the person who's going to manage the estate. They're going to pay the debts. They're going to manage the money, distribute the money to the beneficiaries. Also, you're going to be able to say who gets the assets, how they get the assets, when they get the assets, and how much. And that's really important, especially when it comes to your children. You might want to put some parameters around that, such as you want them to be of a certain age, or maybe you want them to get a staged distribution. Not every beneficiary may be in a position to receive a lump sum and be able to manage it properly.
Could be someone with a substance problem.
Substance abuse, sometimes you have spendthrifts, sometimes you have other special planning situations such as beneficiaries with disabilities that you may need to be thinking about things. And sometimes you need to be thinking 2 steps ahead, like you mentioned with that blended family. Sometimes you want the assets to transfer to your spouse, but you want to say who gets them after that. And so that's why you want to make sure that you have that proper estate plan in place. But you have to think through first what's important to you. How do you want this to go? And then be able to work with the appropriate professionals to make sure that those correct plans are in place to make sure it happens as intended.
Now, this surprised me. You don't get a say in your funeral arrangements if you die intestate?
Well, you haven't put in writing what you would like for your funeral arrangements.
Wouldn't your family just decide that routinely?
They would decide that on your behalf. But if you write a will, you're able to document what you want to happen. So there's so much that can go in there. And I think the really most important thing for a lot of people is being able to name a guardian for their children and who is going to look after your children, because that is so important to every parent. And so if you don't put that in writing, then the court is going to decide for you who they think is most suitable. And another thing to keep in mind as well is Married spouses and common law spouses enjoy a lot of the same treatment when we take a look at tax issues. But that's not the case here when we look at an intestate situation.
That's interesting.
Married spouses and common law spouses are treated very differently in most jurisdictions and provinces. And so you really want your common law spouse could be left with nothing in an intestate situation in some jurisdictions.
They wouldn't have the entitlement of a married spouse.
Yeah, exactly. So the entitlement is different there. So it's really important that you put those wishes in place to make sure that the loved ones that you want to receive your assets and your hard-earned money is going to go as you hope it would.
You had some personal experience. I think it was a relative died intestate.
Exactly. And it was, a very labor-intensive process. It ended up costing quite a bit, thousands of dollars in legal fees to get control of the estate. And as well as it took approximately 6 months for that to happen. And as you can imagine, you can't just go to a financial institution and say, I'm here to...
Hi, I'm Julie.
to talk about somebody else's account.
Yes.
Right? You have to have the authority to be able to do that. So
they have to cover themselves.
Exactly. And as you would expect, and as I would want my information to be protected. And so it puts the family in a situation where you have to be running a house, paying the bills, making sure that everything is still operating until you can get control. And this is not what you want to be doing when you're grieving your loss of a family member.
And what will happen? Will the government, will a civil servant initially take charge of paying the bills and keeping the heating on? Or how
it's sort of over to the family to figure this out in the meantime. And so they'll appoint somebody, and then they'll be the estate trustee, and then they'll be able to act as executor and be able to manage that in the meantime. But it would be so much smoother if they just wrote a will. So I think the most important part here is that the cost of inaction is so much greater than the cost and the effort required to put the will in place.
I wonder, should they bring in a legal requirement to do it?
I would love to see that, Andy.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be tricky to enforce, but...
It would be tricky.
But it's a selfish thing to do in a way, dying without a will. Yeah.
As you said, you've placed this burden on your family, and it does not need to be that way because, like I said, that cost and the effort associated with putting the will in place is much less than the cost of inaction. Yeah.
I've also heard it's a good idea to just write down all of your wretched passwords in one place. Makes it easier for people.
Absolutely. A lot of things that we have these days are digital. If we even think about bills, a lot of bills are coming in electronically. So giving somebody access to your digital assets is important too.
Julie, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Julie Seberras, Head of Wealth Planning at Manulife. Kathy